Hello, my friends, and welcome to my channel. Today, I thought I would take you along while I made dinner, but there's a caveat here. It's gonna be a little convoluted. The recipe starts off with cooking bacon. Well, this morning we had bacon for breakfast, so I thought to myself, oh, I'm gonna cook all the bacon I need for the dinner too. So you're not gonna see me cook the bacon in the first part, but we'll talk about that and how I'm gonna get around it. I am making a full recipe, but I'm going to try to freeze some of the sauce. This recipe feeds 8 people. There's just 2 of us. But I want to see how well the sauce freezes because it'll be a great, quick, easy thing to pull out of the freezer. And like if I need a quick dinner some night, if things don't go as planned and I don't get dinner made. So I am going to make the whole recipe, but for the bacon, it calls for 12 slices for 8 servings. Because we're only going to have 2 servings, maybe 4. I don't know if I might keep some out for Doug's lunch tomorrow. I only did a couple pieces of bacon this morning for it. So yeah, as always, the recipe will be linked in the description box below, and me showing you how to do it, it won't matter too much on the amounts and stuff like that. So just my little, caveat forewarning there. And I'm always a hot mess. I try my best. Let's get started while these babies are sleeping and I can get dinner halfway done. Okay, so the first thing we would do is we would heat our pot. I'm using a cast iron Dutch oven on the stove, and we would cook our bacon. I told you I already did that this morning. So I had my bacon grease reserved, and you're supposed to, after you cook your bacon, you're supposed to reserve 2 tablespoons of the bacon grease in your pot to cook your onions in. So we're just skipping right ahead. Let me show you. So I have 2 tablespoons of bacon grease heating up in my Dutch oven. Once that's heated up, we're gonna take 1 cup of chopped onion, and I like it finely chopped. And although we are going to blend this so it won't be too bad, so we're gonna put that in the bacon grease and we're gonna saute it for 6 minutes. We're gonna do it until it is nice and soft and translucent, and then we're gonna come back and add a few other things to it. So about 6 minutes. Okay, our onion is all done. So now I'm gonna just take 2 cloves of minced garlic. Three cups of butternut squash, peeled and cubed. Half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and 2 tablespoons of fresh sage chopped up. If you do not have fresh sage or cannot get fresh sage, you can use 1 teaspoon of dried. And then I am just gonna let this cook, stirring pretty much constantly for about 3 minutes. This is just gonna help release the flavor in the butternut squash, toast up the sage a little bit and the garlic. And then we're gonna finish cooking it in some broth. But after about 3 minutes, I'll be back to show you that step. Okay, so I let that go for about 3 minutes. And then the next step is to add 1.5 cups of some sort of chicken type stock. You can use chicken stock, chicken broth, bone broth. This is my homemade chicken bone broth. And I'm gonna add about 1.5 cups. A little bit more. I'm gonna mix this together. I'm gonna put the lid on, and we're gonna let that simmer for about 15 minutes until the butternut squash is nice and soft. Okay, it's been simmering for 15 minutes. The butternut squash is nice and soft, and a lot of the liquid is absorbed. So I just turned off the heat. Now I'm gonna add 1 cup of 1% milk. And then I'm going to use my immersion blender and just blend it up. If you do not have an immersion blender, number one, I highly recommend you get one. I use this thing for everything. But if you don't have one, you can just do it in a regular blender in batches. It'll work just the same. This is just really easy. So here we go. Okay, so here it is. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It is so thick, and I gotta tell you, it is really, really delicious. I tasted it. I adjusted the seasonings a bit. I thought it needed a little tad bit more salt, so I added that, and now we are gonna get this plated up. I am very excited to have this for dinner. Here it is plated up. I have about 2.5 ounces of dry pasta, so a little bit more than a serving. On purple, for me, the whole wheat pasta is 0. You would have to count however much pasta you want. And then the sauce is 2 points. So actually the sauce is 1 point and the bacon on top is 1 point. I have 1 slice of bacon crumbled on top, and then you have to count some points for the milk. And Weight Watcher math does make it total 2 points. Just the way it works out. So there it is, and I'll be back to wrap this up and let you know if we enjoyed it. Well, my friends, thank you so very much for joining me while I cooked dinner tonight, and I gotta say, it was delicious. Now, normally, can't let that little bit of bacon go. Normally, I would serve a salad with it and maybe a piece of crusty bread, but honestly, we are running a little bit late. We have a meeting at church tonight and need to get out the door, and I'm out of romaine lettuce, so that wasn't happening either. But it was really, really good. Very mild, because you know butternut squash does not have a very strong flavor profile, so it was very mild, screamed fall, and whatever you do, if you can get fresh sage, 100% use fresh sage. And do not skip the bacon. Do not save a point by skipping the bacon, because the bacon totally added amazing flavor to it. So we really liked it. Doug really liked it. And honestly, I could eat a whole nother bowl. But I measured it out and I'm good to go. So let me know in the comments below if this is something you think you might make, and let me know if you've ever made it before. And I just want to mention, this recipe originally came from the Prairie Homestead Cookbook by Jill Winger. I just changed things around to make it a little bit more WW friendly. So that is an amazing cookbook. I do have it linked in my Amazon store. I get a lot of stuff out of that cookbook. It is really, really good. If you're into old-fashioned heritage type cooking, it's a great resource. So anyway, that's enough from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.